Hi, this is Lou, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be drawing some botanical design elements. So they're the kind of things that I'm using on covers of these sketchbooks like this. So I draw these with a fine liner pen, and then I use them to create screen prints. And if you want to see the process for that, I've got a couple of videos showing you how I screen print, how I get from a fine liner drawing to a printed design. So I'm going to link that up in the corner up there. So let's find a nice clean page. Here, let's keep going. Right, I want to do a series of long, thin designs that I can use as like page dividers, or I kind of use these for the border like this, just by kind of joining the same one together 4 times. So I'll create a variety of these down the page, and then I can pick my favourite ones and use them to make fun design elements. So I'm going to start by drawing a little grid, a little framework that I can use as a guide. So I've drawn a little grid on my paper here with 6 rows across, and I'm going to draw a little different design in each row. That's going to give me 6 different design elements to have a play with. Some of them I think will be okay, some of them probably won't be, but you can't win them all. So I'm just going to have a go. I think the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to have a go at doing this one again. Sometimes it's hard to replicate things I've done before, but I'm going to give this one a go and show you how I did this. So for this one, I'm going to start by drawing the stems across the page. So they're just a series of wiggly lines, wiggle, 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 wiggle. And then I'm going to fill these up with leaves. So the leaves in this one come out on little stems like this, and then they're quite thin and pointed, but they wiggle one way and then wiggle the other. And then I can draw the line, just a flick up the middle, like that. So let's draw another one here, wiggle that way, wiggle that way. And I'm not worried about them being kind of neat or precise, or all the same size. So let's put one this way, and just a little wiggle and a wiggle. So let's have one coming out here, there. And then I need one at the beginning. And then that can come out there, like that. And then most of the leaves are going to be kind of pointing in that direction, but I want the odd one kind of pointing backwards. So let's put one there as well, like that. And just keep going on until I get to the end of the stem. Now, it's a little sparse in places, so what I can do is I can go back in and fill in, add in leaves in any areas that I think are looking like they're kind of missing out. Let's put one there. And then anything else, I can fill in other areas by putting in some little stems with tiny little berries on the end like that. One in there. Let's have a couple out here. And then just one in there. And I think it needs something here. And I think that's it for now. I'm going to come back to it later when I've finished all the way along and just see if I think it needs anything else. So let's keep going. Okay, so now I can take a look at the whole thing and just see if there's anything that needs just a little bit more. And I think I need a leaf on the end there. I think I need something up here, so maybe some more little berries. Do with the leaf heading backwards that way. Okay, so I think that's all right. I think there's a few kind of ugly bits around here, which if I'm really keen to fix, I could fix in Photoshop later on. I could even take these two bits, because it's completely separate from that one. I could cut those out and then just use those two. So there's lots of things that you can do when you digitize these, and that's something I could do in a future video if that's something you're interested in seeing. So let's do a simpler leafy pattern for our second one. Again, I'm just going to do some wiggly lines. Some going down, some going up. This time a little shorter. And then on this one, I'm going to do little rounded leaves like that. So one at the end, and then several coming off the stem in pairs like this. And I've made them slightly smaller at this end and then slightly bigger at that end. So let's start with this one and do the little leaves here, and then make them slightly bigger as we go along. Right, the next one, what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to put some little clusters of berries, and then I'm going to surround them with leaves and then kind of join all the clusters up together. So I can make the berries just little circles and then put a dot in them like that. Another one there, little dot, circle and a little dot. And then let's put in another cluster down here. And it's good to make them kind of nice and close together. Now around each cluster, I start putting little groups of leaves, and they just point out from the berries like this. Like this. And there's some more, and these leaves kind of come to a little point. And then a little flick of a line down the centre of each leaf just gives it some definition. Helps it look more obvious what it is. So I was saying these could be berries, but if you think about the scale of them, they could be like oranges on an orange tree or something like that instead. So now each of my little clusters of berries has some leaves around it. Now I need to kind of fill in the space in between them so it joins them all together. So I could add some more berries in there and then surround them with more leaves, or I could just keep adding leaves until I've joined all the space together. For my next lot of leaves, I'm going to do something very similar to this. Instead of the leaves being little short fat things, I'm going to do them kind of nice and long and skinny. So again, I'm doing like a nice curvy line. And then a leaf off to the side. Draw the vein first, and then a curve on either side of it. So there's my first one. Now I can start the second one in here and bring that down there. And then it's useful to make the leaves curve a little bit, partly so it makes them look more natural. Not that they're very natural, because this is a very stylized kind of drawing, but also that it means that you can fit them in little spaces. So I can fit this one in here and curve it up a little bit, and it'll fit in quite nicely. So let's draw the next one. I'm going to start here, draw it there. And then I find it useful to have design elements of different sizes when I'm doing something like this, because you end up with gaps. So if you've got a fairly big element, then it's useful to have some small ones, and then you can fill the gaps with the small ones. So if I do some little flowers, just a little dot, and then draw a circle in the middle and fill it in. These are very, very simple flowers. They're kind of like kids drawing flowers, but they're quite cute. By colouring them in, I'm giving them a little bit more visual weight. So even though they're small, they kind of become a little bit more obvious. And I don't like having 4. There's something kind of quite wrong about having like an even number of something, even though there's essentially kind of 3 groups. So I can put another one maybe here, or maybe here, or maybe I could do both and then put another one there as well, so that there'd be 7. So let's do one here. And that's looking better already. So yeah, so I think I could get 7 in. So 6 isn't quite so bad. It's not quite so bad as 4, but it's still, there's something not just quite right about it. So I've got to find another space for another one. So let's put that one in the corner here. There we go, and I'm a lot happier with this. So I'm going to create like a string of little flowers along here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the black pen to kind of colour them all in, but then I can go in and add some details on the top with white pen. This saves me trying to colour around lots of very fine details, and I still end up with a kind of black and white design that I could scan in and use in Photoshop or Illustrator if I wanted to. So I'm going to draw a little series of half circles along here. And then I can put a stem onto each of these, slightly curving in different ways. And then I can give these some leaves. So let's give them a lobed leaf like this. One on one side and then one on the other. And then each flower can have some little kind of stylized stamens coming out of them like this. And then I can use my pen to colour in these flowers. And actually I can switch. If I switch to a thicker pen, it'll be quicker. Now my areas are filled in, I can go in with my white pen and add any details that I want, except that it's not very bright. There we go. So I'll put in a couple of petals and then maybe some stripes. And then a row of dots, spots. And it's much easier to do this with the white pen than it would be to leave all these spaces white and go around them with the black one. And then for the last one, I'm going to do a combination of these two. I'm going to do some clusters of flowers. I'm going to do them in black and then add the details in the white, but then I'm going to use the fine liner pen to create some leaves to join all of the clusters of flowers together. I'm going to take a much smaller pen and draw some little veining lines on these leaves. I think just on one side. I don't need to do both. Now I can go back in and add in my white detail with my white pen. So the first thing I can do is I can re-establish the outsides of some of these petals. Give these flowers their own distinctiveness back again. And then I can put in a nice ring of dots around the centre. And I'm quite liking the way that this pattern's looking now. So here's my sketchbook with my 6 different floral and leafy border pattern designs. What I'll do now is I'll show you what these look like when they're all scanned in and digitised, and I can have a play with the colours, but also I can use these to create screens for screen printing as well, just by printing them out onto acetate, and then I can use them to print with. So there's lots of different ways that you can put really simple designs, just simple leaf shapes and tiny little simple flowers together to create really unique botanical patterns. If you do give any of these a go, I'd love to see them. You can always tag me on Instagram if you follow along with any of my videos. I love to see the work that you create, and I love to see what you do with the tutorials that I produce here, the way that you take different ideas on and use them in ways that I'd never even think of. So thank you very much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.